Hey, buddy, what you got there?
Some money?
Oh, yeah? How many coins do you have?
2?
Oh, well, see, I've got 4. You know, I like you. Tell you what, let's make a trade. You give me your 2 coins, and I'll give you 4 coins.
Really? Okay.
So I wonder how many of you would trade your 2 dimes in exchange for getting 4 pennies. Probably not most of you. But I see it all the time when kids are doing it with decimals and comparing decimals, trying to decide which is more. Let me show you what I mean.
So here's the thing. When we see the number 2 or the number 4 like this, oftentimes kids go, oh, well, 4 is bigger than 2, so this is worth more. But let's think about what it really means. These are tenths. A dime is a tenth of a dollar. So here we have 2 dimes. But when it comes to this place, that's actually hundredths. And so what we got here is 4 hundredths, because a penny is a hundredth of a dollar. So we have 0 dimes here and 4 pennies. 0 dimes and 4 pennies. As you can see, in this case, 4 is not bigger than 2. This is 2 tenths, and this is 4 hundredths. So it's important to think about that when you're trying to compare decimals. So what if we had something like this? The number 3, or no, how about the number 3 and the number 13. All right, which is bigger? Again, kids go, well, 13 is bigger than 3. Not in this case. This is 3 dimes. 3 dimes. That's 30 cents. And this it's 13 hundredths. So it means 1 dime and 3 pennies. When you get over here to the right-hand side of the decimal, you have to be a little more careful when comparing numbers. So we can see that 3 dimes, 3 tenths, is more than 13 hundredths.
Okay, so here's what you got to think about. You got to remember that when we're dealing with place value, no matter if we're on the right-hand side of the decimal point or if we're on the left-hand side, the further left the place is, the more powerful it is, the more valuable it is. Like a 1 here is worth 1, but a 1 here is actually worth 10. A 1 here is worth a tenth, but a 1 here is only worth a hundredth. So here's a number line. So let's say I've got, I'm going to compare 25 hundredths to 5 tenths. Now, a lot of kids would look at that and say, well, 25 is bigger than 5, so this is worth more. But don't fall into that trap. Think about this. This is 5 tenths. So my number line, I've divided into 10 equal pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm going to find 5 tenths. That is, and I'll do it in a different color. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's right here. There's 5 tenths. And now I've got 25 hundredths, which means I have 2 tenths and 5 hundredths. So 2 tenths is right there, and then 5 more hundredths. So that's about right there. So right there is 25 hundredths. You see, everything gets all weird when you get to the right-hand side of that decimal point. Sometimes a number that somebody who doesn't know better thinks looks bigger isn't bigger. Like 25 hundredths is smaller than 5/10. Okay, so let's just make sure that you're clear on how to actually place decimals on a number line. So first of all, just remember, these are tenths, then hundredths, then thousandths, and it keeps going. We won't bother right now. We're just going to stop at thousandths. Okay, so we have tenths. Hundredths are 10 times smaller than tenths. And thousandths are 10 times smaller than those, and so on. So what we do is this. So I'm looking at 37 hundredths. And we'll talk later about actually how we say these, but not now, we won't. So I see that there's 3/10, so I go 1, 2, 3, and then 7 hundredths. Now, one of these is if we take a tenth and break it into 10 pieces, those are hundredths, like if I did this. Like that. So 7 would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right there. So right there is 37 hundredths. 4/10. 1, 2, 3, 4, right there. So you see, some people might go, oh, 37's bigger than 4. It's actually not, because it's 37 hundredths. 4/10 is bigger than that. We can see it's slightly bigger than 37 hundredths. And then we have 93 thousandths. So it's 0/10. Okay, 0/10. So we're not even this far. 9 hundredths. Well, if I divided this into there, 9 would be right here. And then 3 thousandths. So 3 little tiny things. So right about there is where that number would go. So start by counting over on your tenths, and then once you've done that, do the smaller pieces, and if there's thousandths, then you do those. So you start with the leftmost digit first. That's how you do it, folks. Now it's your turn.